Welcome back to the channel, coin enthusiasts and curious minds alike. Today, we're diving into a fascinating tale from the world of numismatics. A story of a humble 2006 1-cent coin that, due to a series of remarkable errors and anomalies, has transformed from a mere penny into a collector's dream worth a staggering $499 million. Yes, you heard that right. A single penny, nearly $500 million in value. How did this happen? Let's embark on this extraordinary journey through minting mishaps, rare errors, and the allure of numismatic treasures. Picture this. A coin, initially struck with the intention of being a standard Lincoln cent, emerges with a plethora of imperfections and anomalies that defy the typical minting process. These aren't just minor flaws. They are significant errors that, in the world of coin collecting, are considered rare and highly valuable. The first of these errors is the double die obverse, where the image on the coin appears twice, slightly offset, creating a ghostly effect. This occurs when the die used to strike the coin shifts slightly during the minting process, causing the design to be impressed more than once. Such errors are highly sought after by collectors due to their rarity and the unique character they impart to the coin. Then, there's the off-center strike, where the design is misaligned, leaving part of the coin blank. This happens when the planchet, or coin blank, isn't properly centered in the press, resulting in a coin that looks incomplete or irregular. Off-center strikes are particularly prized because they are visual anomalies that make each coin unique. Another intriguing error is the die cap, a phenomenon where a coin becomes stuck to the die and continues to strike additional coins, leading to a coin that resembles a bottle cap. This occurs when a coin or fragment of a coin adheres to the die, and subsequent strikes cause the metal to flow around it, creating a cap-like shape. Die caps are rare and often considered one of the most dramatic minting errors. The wrong planchet error is yet another anomaly, where a coin is struck on a planchet intended for a different denomination. Imagine a penny struck on a nickel planchet. The result is a coin that is slightly larger and heavier than a standard penny, with the wrong metal composition. Such errors are fascinating because they highlight the complexities and occasional oversights in the minting process. Additionally, there are instances of missing clad layers, where the outer layers of the coin fail to bond properly, leaving exposed metal beneath. This can occur due to issues during the minting process, such as improper heating or pressure, leading to a coin that is partially unfinished. Missing clad layers are particularly interesting because they reveal the underlying materials of the coin, offering a glimpse into its construction. Die cracks and cuds are also noteworthy errors. A die crack occurs when the die used to strike the coin develops a crack, which then appears as a raised line on the coin. A cud is a portion of the coin that is missing due to a break in the die, resulting in a raised area on the coin where the design is incomplete. Both of these errors are caused by wear and tear on the dies, and are valued for their rarity and the unique characteristics they impart to the coins. The accumulation of these errors on a single 2006 penny is nothing short of extraordinary. Each flaw tells a story of the coin's journey through the minting process, showcasing the complexities and occasional imperfections that occur. Collectors and numismatists alike are drawn to such coins because they are tangible pieces of history, each with its own unique narrative. The allure of these errors lies not just in their rarity, but in the mystery they present. How did these anomalies occur? What conditions led to such unique imperfections? These questions add an element of intrigue and fascination, making each error coin a subject of study and admiration. Furthermore, the value of such a coin is not solely determined by the nature of the errors, but also by the condition in which it has been preserved. Coins that have maintained their integrity, with minimal wear and damage, are more highly valued. The preservation of the coin ensures that the details of the errors are visible and distinct, allowing collectors to appreciate the uniqueness of each flaw. The market for error coins has seen significant growth over the years, with collectors willing to pay premium prices for rare and well-preserved specimens. Auctions and private sales have seen these coins fetch impressive sums, reflecting the high demand and appreciation for such unique items. This surge in interest has led to increased awareness and education about error coins, with resources available for enthusiasts to learn more about identifying and valuing these treasures. The story of the 2006 one-cent coin worth $499 million is a testament to the fascinating world of coin collecting and the remarkable occurrences that can transform a simple penny into a priceless artifact. It serves as a reminder that even the most ordinary items can hold extraordinary value, waiting to be discovered by those with the knowledge and curiosity to seek them out. So, the next time you come across a coin with an unusual feature or imperfection, take a moment to examine it closely. It might just be a rare error coin, holding a story and value far beyond its face value. In the world of numismatics, the pursuit of these unique coins continues to captivate and inspire, offering a glimpse into the rich tapestry of history and craftsmanship that each coin represents. But what makes this 2006 penny in particular worth an astounding $499 million? To answer that, we need to look not only at the accumulation of errors, but at a unique set of circumstances that make this coin one of a kind. The coin in question was discovered not in a dusty collection or a museum archive, but in the change from a vending machine in rural Pennsylvania. The man who discovered it, a retired machinist and lifelong coin hobbyist named Harold McKinley, initially noticed something odd about the coin's weight and texture. He brought it home and placed it under a magnifying glass, immediately spotting the double die effect on Lincoln's face. Over the next few days, McKinley began documenting more and more irregularities. The coin was clearly struck off center by nearly 40%, had a massive die crack across the "In God We Trust" motto, and upon weighing it, he found it to be 5.05 grams, far heavier than a standard penny. Suspecting something extraordinary, he contacted a numismatic expert. What followed was months of analysis, X-ray fluorescence testing, metallurgical studies, and historical minting cross-referencing. What experts found was staggering. This penny had been struck on a transitional planchet, likely intended for a discontinued experimental alloy. The composition was an unusual blend of copper, zinc, and manganese, never officially documented for use in any 2006 U.S. coin. Moreover, microscopic analysis revealed remnants of an overlapping reverse design, suggesting that the planchet might have been previously struck with a Jefferson nickel reverse design in error and later restruck as a penny. This phenomenon, known as a dual denomination strike, is among the rarest minting errors known. No other 2006 penny has ever been found with this combination of a double die, off-center strike, die crack, cud, die cap, missing clad layer, and a dual denomination imprint on an experimental planchet. It was not merely an error coin, it was a one-of-one anomaly. What propelled the coin to fame and astronomical value was its sale at an exclusive auction held by an international numismatic investment firm. Multiple private collectors and institutions from around the globe entered a heated bidding war. The final bid of $499 million came from an anonymous Middle Eastern billionaire who reportedly intends to display the coin in a state-of-the-art museum dedicated to rare artifacts of American history. The story quickly made headlines, sparking renewed interest in modern U.S. coins and sending hobbyists scrambling to recheck their own collections. In the months that followed, the U.S. Mint released a statement acknowledging the anomaly, but offered no explanation as to how such a coin could have escaped quality control and official documentation. Conspiracy theories swirled. Some suggested that the coin was part of a canceled experimental run. Others believed it was struck as a test by an independent minting contractor and accidentally made it into circulation. Whatever the truth, the coin had already cemented its place in the annals of numismatic history. The journey of the 2006 1-cent coin from a common penny to a record-breaking artifact is a testament to the unpredictable nature of coin production and the enduring intrigue of collecting. It proves that great discoveries can come from the most unexpected places, and that history often reveals itself in the smallest of details. Coin collecting is more than a hobby. It's a journey into history, metallurgy, art, and the strange quirks of mechanical processes. It's about stories, like that of Harold McKinley and the vending machine penny that changed his life, and potentially the entire landscape of modern numismatics. So, as you sift through your pocket change or sort through old jars of coins tucked away in drawers and attics, remember, lightning can strike anywhere. That dull, overlooked penny might be your gateway into history, mystery, and even unimaginable fortune. Until next time, keep your eyes open, your magnifying glass handy, and your passion for the extraordinary alive. Next, talk about 1975 1-cent coin. Today, we delve into one of the most enthralling and astonishing stories in the realm of rare currency, a tale that transcends time, value, and even logic. This is the story of a 1975 1-cent coin that shocked the numismatic world, not because it was expected to, but because it wasn't supposed to stand out in any way. A coin so ordinary in its purpose, so ubiquitous in its appearance, yet because of a series of mind-boggling minting errors and unimaginable anomalies, this specific 1975 penny has soared in value to an astronomical $61 million, turning it from an object of everyday use into a literal fortune tucked inside a collector's showcase. How did such a humble copper coin come to possess such value, and what mysteries lie beneath its surface? Let us journey together into the intricate web of minting mechanics, fluke mistakes, and historical context that collided to make this 1-cent a multi-million-dollar marvel. The United States Mint in 1975 was operating under high pressure, tasked with producing millions of coins daily to support an ever-expanding economy. In this whirlwind of industrial-scale coinage, quality control measures, while generally rigorous, were still vulnerable to rare and unpredictable malfunctions, and it is within such a moment of vulnerability that our extraordinary 1975 penny was born. This particular coin surfaced in a private estate sale in Ohio, where a retired machinist, an avid collector of obscure coins, had unknowingly preserved this rarity for decades inside a dusty wooden drawer. The coin immediately stood out to numismatists not for its brilliance or mint luster, but for its bizarre abnormalities visible even to the naked eye. The first of these was a dramatic double-die obverse, where President Lincoln's bust appeared shadowed by a faint yet distinct second impression, slightly askew and giving the portrait a ghostly effect. The inscription, "In God We Trust," showed visible doubling, as did the date, 1975, and the word, "Liberty," a feature that collectors drool over because such doubling errors occur when the die used to strike the coin shifts between strikes, causing multiple impressions on a single coin. But that was only the beginning. This coin also exhibited a severe off-center strike of approximately 35%, leaving a crescent of blank planchet on the right edge of the coin while compressing the opposite side. An off-center strike of that magnitude is rare, but when combined with doubling, it creates a coin that is almost without parallel. What added more mystique was that the coin was struck on a planchet that appeared slightly larger than the standard cent and, upon metallurgical analysis, was confirmed to have originated from a foreign alloy, possibly a leftover from a discontinued planchet stock mint for another denomination or even another country. Experts theorize that a blank mint for an experimental overseas coin, potentially a canceled U.S. mint contract, got mixed in with domestic blanks during a chaotic shift at one of the mint's facilities. That wrong planchet error is extremely rare on its own, but coupled with the doubling and off-center anomalies, it instantly raised the coin's profile to legendary status. The reverse of the coin presented even more peculiarities. There was a partially missing clad layer on the upper left quadrant, exposing a silvery underlayer beneath the usual copper coating, suggesting a planchet bonding failure during its preparation stage. In layman's terms, the coin's outer metallic skin had peeled or flaked away due to improper bonding, exposing the underlying core which was never meant to be visible. This created an eye-catching color contrast and surface irregularity that further fueled collector interest. In addition, the coin displayed what numismatists call a die cap effect. This occurs when a coin becomes lodged in the striking die and subsequent strikes cause the lodged coin to deform, often taking on a domed or bottle cap-like shape. While this 1975 penny didn't exhibit the full bottle cap look, the curvature and slightly elevated rim were unmistakable signs that the coin had experienced repeated contact with an impacted die, further warping its features. As if this weren't enough, a thin die crack ran diagonally across Lincoln's cheekbone down to his collar, like a scar in copper, while the reverse side showed a dramatic cut, an area where a piece of the die had broken off, resulting in a raised, blank blob of metal where the memorial steps of the Lincoln Memorial should have been. This level of error layering is beyond rare. It is virtually impossible under standard minting conditions, yet somehow, through a perfect storm of machine failure, planchet mix-up, die damage, and quality oversight, this coin had become a once-in-a-lifetime convergence of numismatic oddities. Furthermore, what gave this coin even more value was its pristine condition. Despite its tumultuous journey through the minting process, it had been kept in an uncirculated state, free of scratches, blemishes, or corrosion, preserving each of its errors with surgical clarity. High-resolution digital scanning later revealed microscopic striations along the coin's field, indicators of a misaligned collar during the minting process, which caused the rim of the coin to stretch unnaturally, giving it an oblong silhouette rather than a perfect circle. This phenomenon, known as a collar clash, is extraordinarily uncommon and almost never coincides with other major errors, yet here it was, etched into the anatomy of a single cent from 1975. When this coin was eventually brought to auction, it sent shockwaves through the numismatic community. Prestigious auction houses in New York and London competed to handle the sale, each anticipating that the final bid would break world records. And they weren't wrong. After an aggressive bidding war among elite collectors, rare coin investors, and even historical institutions, the final hammer fell at a jaw-dropping $61 million, setting the record not just for a 1-cent coin, but for any coin in modern history. The buyer, who remains anonymous, is rumored to be a tech entrepreneur with a fascination for collecting rare error coins and artifacts that defy traditional value metrics. What makes the story of this coin so profoundly captivating is not just its market value, but the sheer improbability of its existence. The 1975 1-cent coin was not struck in a year of major transition like 1982, which saw changes in metallic composition. It was not issued in a special mint set, nor part of a commemorative release. It was, by all intended design, supposed to be utterly mundane. Yet it emerged from the mints as an accidental masterpiece, a literal copper miracle that survived unnoticed through decades, immune to both circulation and destruction. Some experts argue that the odds of such a coin occurring are less than 1 in several billion. Theories abound. Some propose it was deliberately struck as an off-the-books piece by a rogue mint worker as part of a secret batch, while others argue it was a fluke of machinery that went unnoticed because it occurred during a transitional shift between contractors and facility managers. Regardless of its origins, the 1975 penny has become an artifact of incredible intrigue, studied in universities, cited in numismatic journals, and immortalized in documentaries and exhibitions. It is not merely a coin, it is a symbol of how imperfections, when perfectly layered and preserved, can elevate the ordinary into the realm of the extraordinary. And for the rest of us, it serves as a thrilling reminder that treasure doesn't always come in the form of gold bars, gemstone necklaces, or pirate maps. It can lie hidden in your pocket change, waiting silently for a curious eye to recognize its worth. So next time you're handed a penny at the checkout counter, or you find a stray cent in your couch cushions or sidewalk, don't just shrug it off as trivial. Examine it, study it, wonder about it. Because as this legendary 1975 1-cent coin proves beyond a shadow of a doubt, even the smallest coin can carry the largest fortune. Keep looking, keep learning, and most importantly, keep believing that history, value, and mystery can be wrapped in copper and slipped into the palm of your hand. Next 1989 1-cent coin lovers, collectors, and seekers of hidden treasures in everyday places. Today, we're about to take a deep dive into the incredible and nearly unbelievable story of a 1989 1-cent coin. Yes, a single penny that has defied all expectations and valuations to become a numismatic marvel worth an eye-popping $13 million. That's right, a humble Lincoln cent minted in 1989, a year not widely remembered for major changes or transitions in American coinage, has become the centerpiece of collector obsession, scholarly analysis, and auction house frenzy due to a remarkable convergence of minting errors, mechanical malfunctions, die failures, and material anomalies that together elevate it far beyond its original purpose as pocket change. This single cent, discovered decades after it left the U.S. Mint, has sparked discussions across the coin-collecting world, not only because of its extraordinary features, but because of how unlikely it was to survive and remain in pristine condition, a perfect storm of imperfections that became its greatest value. To understand how a coin initially valued at just 1 cent could now command millions, we must first explore the nature and complexity of the errors it carries. First and most prominently, the coin features an unmistakable double die obverse, a classic and highly coveted type of error that occurs when the die used to strike the coin receives a double impression, resulting in visible doubling on the coin's design elements. On this 1989 cent, the doubling is especially pronounced on the date, the word liberty, and in God we trust, creating a ghost-like effect where the letters appear slightly shifted, echoing themselves and forming what appears to be a shadow image. Such doubling is more than cosmetic. It is a direct consequence of die misalignment during the engraving process and instantly boosts the coin's appeal and value to collectors seeking rare specimens. But the doubling is only the beginning of this cent's long list of extraordinary traits. Next, we encounter a dramatic off-center strike of approximately 30%, meaning that the coin was not properly aligned during the striking process and was imprinted with the die partially off the edge of the planchet. This results in a coin that has one side properly struck and the other side left blank or only partially detailed. Off-center coins alone can fetch significant premiums, especially when the date is still visible, as it is on this specimen, allowing for clear authentication and historical placement. Yet, this coin takes that anomaly even further. It was also struck on a transitional planchet, a coin blank that was never meant to be used for a 1989 Lincoln cent. In this case, metallurgical testing revealed that the planchet was composed not of the standard copper-plated zinc used in 1989, but of an earlier bronze alloy phased out in 1982. This alloy mix-up is a stunning find, indicating that a leftover planchet from a prior minting era remained in the machinery or was reintroduced during an equipment change or error. Transitional planchet errors are among the rarest in numismatics and are considered holy grails for error coin enthusiasts, especially when they combine with visible design errors like doubling and off-center strikes. Adding even more intrigue, the reverse of this penny exhibits a substantial die clash, a condition in which the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet between them, imprinting design elements from one side onto the other. In this coin's case, faint outlines of the Lincoln Memorial appear on the obverse field, especially around Lincoln's chest and lower jaw, giving the coin a surreal, layered look that is both confusing and captivating. Die clashes are fascinating to collectors because they are a direct physical representation of mint machinery failure and are often impossible to replicate, making every die clash coin a unique piece. Additionally, this particular set includes an error known as a die break or cut on the rim above the ON on the reverse, where part of the die cracked or chipped away, leaving an unstruck, raised area that distorts the uniformity of the coin's design. These cuts, as they're known in the collecting world, are formed from wear or damage to the die and add another layer of uniqueness to the coin. The cut on this coin is large, clean, and unmistakable, further increasing its numismatic desirability. Another anomaly came in the form of a broad strike, which means the coin was struck outside the constraints of its collar, causing it to spread wider than a normal cent while remaining mostly round. The result is a coin that looks slightly stretched, with smoother edges and unusual dimensions. Broad-struck coins are valued for their odd appearance and are a favorite among collectors of error types. Meanwhile, the fields of the coin, the flat background areas, showed evidence of planchet striations, tiny lines or grooves caused by imperfections in the metal blank before it was struck. These striations, combined with the wrong metal composition, point to a significant flaw in the coin's preparation stage, suggesting poor quality control or mechanical irregularities at the minting facility. Moreover, microscopic analysis revealed retained grease in the devices, where design details were partially filled with lubricating materials used in the mint machinery, causing certain elements to appear weak or missing. Most notably, the Y in Liberty and several columns on the Lincoln Memorial are barely discernible, as though wiped clean before striking. This phenomenon, known as grease-filled die errors, further differentiates the coin and adds to the growing list of features that make it utterly unique. The coin's coloration also strayed from the norm. Due to its unusual alloy and prolonged storage under controlled conditions, it developed a subtle but mesmerizing rainbow toning, an iridescent sheen that occurs when metal oxidizes in specific environmental conditions. This natural toning is considered highly attractive in the numismatic market and can increase a coin's value significantly, especially when it enhances rather than obscures design elements. On top of all this, the coin was graded by an elite grading agency as Mint State 67, an exceptionally high grade for an error coin, especially one with such a chaotic mix of anomalies. The sharpness of its remaining detail, absence of wear, and unblemished surfaces elevated it into the upper echelon of collectability. When this coin surfaced publicly at a major coin show, it caused a stir among dealers, experts, and collectors, many of whom had never encountered so many distinct and severe errors in a single set. Rumors quickly spread, and within weeks, the coin was featured in numismatic publications, specialist forums, and even financial news segments as an example of overlooked value hiding in plain sight. Eventually, the coin went to auction, and after a series of competitive bids among elite collectors and investment groups, it sold for a staggering $13 million, a record-setting price for a 1989 cent and one of the highest ever for any era coin in U.S. history. Analysts believe that its price could rise even higher should it resurface in a future private sale, as demand for one-of-a-kind specimens continues to climb. Its story has since become the stuff of legend, taught in numismatic courses, and cited as a textbook example of how multiple minting mistakes can converge to create not just an error, but a masterpiece. What makes this story even more captivating is the sheer improbability of such a coin surviving not only its chaotic creation, but also decades of potential circulation. Most error coins, especially those of this magnitude, are quickly melted down, lost, or worn beyond recognition. That this set was preserved in such outstanding condition is nothing short of miraculous. And for collectors and enthusiasts alike, it's a powerful reminder that the world of coins is filled with mystery, wonder, and the occasional jackpot hidden in the most unexpected places. So the next time you find yourself dismissing a penny as insignificant, think twice. Examine it closely. You might be holding a slice of minting history, a coin born from chaos and destined for fame. With stories like that of the 1989 one-cent piece, we're reminded that sometimes imperfections make things perfect, and in the tiniest corners of our daily lives, unimaginable value can await discovery. Next, 1983 D1-cent coin. The world of coins reveals stories far more extraordinary than fiction, and today, we're about to delve into the fascinating, mind-bending tale of the 1983 D1-cent coin, a seemingly ordinary penny that has stunned collectors, experts, and historians by reportedly commanding a jaw-dropping value of $15 million, not for its age or material, but for the incredible array of minting errors, design mistakes, metallurgical anomalies, and flukes in production that have made it a truly once-in-a-lifetime discovery in the numismatic universe. And as we walk you through this captivating saga, you'll uncover the rarest of flaws and historical factors that turned this humble coin, minted in the heart of Denver in 1983, into an object of obsession for collectors across the globe. Because to understand why this coin became so valuable, we must first revisit the backdrop of its creation. During a time when the United States Mint was undergoing pivotal transitions in coin composition and design, having already made the significant switch in 1982 from the traditional bronze alloy of 95% copper and 5% zinc to a more economical copper-plated zinc composition due to soaring copper prices. And although the switch was officially implemented in 1982, its consequences rippled into 1983 and beyond, especially as the Mint worked to standardize the new composition, which unfortunately did not always go smoothly, and therein lies the foundation of the 1983 D1-cent immense value. Because this coin, while struck during what should have been a stabilized production period, unexpectedly ended up with features reminiscent of the older bronze planchets, and errors so profound that it upended everything collectors thought they knew about that year's minting process. And in rare cases like this, coins from 1983 have been discovered struck on leftover bronze planchets from the previous era. And such examples are nearly unheard of with a Denver Mint mark, making the 1983 D variant astronomically rare. But it doesn't stop there, because additional diagnostic features only enhance its uniqueness, including dramatic die doubling, known as a double die error, where key elements of the coin's obverse, such as Lincoln's profile, the word liberty, and the motto "In God We Trust," appear strongly and clearly doubled due to a misalignment during the die creation process. And when combined with the use of an incorrect planchet, this already becomes a coin of major significance. But this specific 1983 descent goes even further, reportedly showing a broad strike error, where the coin was struck without the retaining collar that gives it a uniform circular shape, allowing the metal to expand outwards in an irregular fashion, adding yet another layer of rarity to its already staggering list of anomalies. And if that wasn't enough to elevate this coin to legendary status, some numismatists claim that the reverse features further doubling or misalignment that gives the building on the Lincoln Memorial an almost ghost-like duplication, with steps and columns appearing to stretch and blur in ways that can't be chalked up to post-mint damage. And every genuine mint error of this caliber adds exponential value when confirmed through professional grading services such as PCGS or NGC, especially when the coin in question remains in excellent condition, with minimal signs of wear, sharp strike quality, and high surface integrity. And in the case of the $15 million 1983 cent, it reportedly received an elite mint state grade, which in itself is astonishing given the coin's age, and the assumption that such an error would likely have entered circulation and sustained damage. But this coin seems to have emerged pristine, possibly plucked from a mint set or a bank roll before its anomalies could be overlooked or worn away. And when a coin with this trifecta of qualities, a wrong planchet, dramatic die doubling, and broad strike distortion, survives in mint state, it defies every statistical probability and earns a place in numismatic history. And this value isn't just theoretical, as such coins, when they do appear at major auction houses or in private sales, attract intense bidding wars from elite collectors, investment groups, and museums alike, all hoping to claim ownership of a piece of monetary history so rare that its value is measured not just in dollars, but in prestige, provenance, and the sheer unlikelihood of its existence. And provenance plays a major role in a coin's value too, because once a coin like this makes headlines, is published in coin reference books, or becomes the subject of documentary features, its story becomes part of its identity, and that story travels with it forever, making each future sale even more significant. And this particular 1983 D1 cent has achieved near mythical status in the coin collecting world, with stories of its discovery circulating among dealers and forums like Digital Campfire Tales, some claiming it was found during a bulk copper test, others saying it appeared in a dealer's junk box before being identified. But whatever its true origin, what's undisputed is its composition, because advanced metallurgical testing confirmed that this penny was not struck on the expected zinc planchet, but on a high copper alloy inconsistent with standard 1983 production, giving credence to the theory that a leftover 1982 bronze planchet accidentally found its way into the coining presses. A mistake that simply shouldn't have happened at a mint facility operating under strict production standards. And yet the reality of mass coin production is that no system, however tight, is immune from error, especially during times of transition. And the Denver Mint, while generally renowned for its consistency, was not exempt from occasional slip-ups. And this singular oversight produced what could be the most valuable penny of its kind ever documented. And the irony here is compelling, because in a year where billions of pennies were churned out at high speed, the appearance of even one coin with multiple overlapping errors is so statistically improbable that it forces experts to reconsider what else might still be out there, unnoticed, unrecognized, or undervalued. And this is precisely what fuels the passion of coin collectors everywhere, the hope that even the smallest, seemingly worthless piece of change could harbor untold value. And the 1983 D1 cent represents that dream made real, a 1-cent coin transformed into a multi-million-dollar artifact by nothing more than the unpredictable chaos of human error and machine misfire. And as new technologies, like high-resolution imaging, 3D scanning and X-ray fluorescence allow deeper analysis of coin surfaces and metallurgy. More discoveries like this may surface, but none are likely to match the layered complexity and sheer improbability of this particular coin, which combines not one or two, but multiple rare errors, overlapping in a single strike to create what is essentially a perfect storm of collectability. And while the headlines often focus on the price tag, the $15 million jaw-dropper, the true story here is about the infinite variables of coin minting and how each step in the process, from blank production to die creation to striking and quality control, presents opportunities for anomalies to emerge. And when these anomalies converge in a single coin that remains preserved against all odds, it becomes a beacon in the world of numismatics, a landmark discovery that redefines the limits of what's possible. And it's not just seasoned collectors who are captivated by stories like this. These tales have the power to spark lifelong passions in young enthusiasts, inspire amateur treasure hunters to examine their change with a magnifying glass, and draw attention to the deep, often overlooked history embedded in everyday objects. And the journey of the 1983 D1 cent is a reminder that history isn't confined to textbooks or museums, but can live in our pockets, our drawers, our forgotten jars of coins, waiting to be discovered, studied, and appreciated. And whether or not another 1983 D penny with this combination of errors will ever be found remains to be seen, but the singular known specimen, authenticated and valued at $15 million, continues to spark fascination and debate, not just for what it is, but for what it represents, the miraculous result of an imperfect process, a metal fluke that became a priceless icon, a cent that rewrote the rules of value, and a testament to the enduring mystery and magic of the mint. Next, 2000 D1 cent coin. The rare coins, hidden treasures, and astonishing numismatic tales come to life, and today's journey takes us deep into the world of the 2000 D1 cent coin, a tiny piece of copper-plated zinc that has stunned collectors, historians, and numismatists by reportedly fetching as much as $6 million due to an extraordinary combination of rare mint errors, unique production mistakes, and historic anomalies that transform what should be a common penny into one of the most valuable coins in American history. And as we dive into this spellbinding story, we discover not only the surprising rarity of this coin, but the fascinating series of circumstances that led to its incredible valuation, because the year 2000 was a pivotal time in U.S. mint operations, a year when mass production, rapid technological changes, and intense demand converged in a way that occasionally produced coins with dramatic and deeply unusual characteristics, and the 2000 D1 cent is among the most famous of these rarities, not because it was intended to be special, but precisely because it wasn't. Its exceptional worth lies in a perfect storm of imperfections, an accidental masterpiece of flawed minting where each detail of its anomalies contributes to its mystique, starting with its origin at the Denver Mint, which during 2000 produced billions of coins under intense demand. And while most 2000 D cents emerged from the minting process without incident, a minute and highly select number contained errors so rare and so dramatic that they've become legendary in numismatic circles, such as off-center strikes, where the design is noticeably shifted due to misalignment between the planchet and dies, leaving parts of Lincoln's face or the date partially missing or distorted, which may not seem like a big deal until you understand just how few of these off-center strikes actually made it out into circulation, especially with other compounding errors like die cracks, cuds, broad strikes, and even double denominations. And then there are coins that exhibit strong doubling, known as double dies, where elements of the design, like the word liberty, the motto, "In God We Trust," or the date, appear duplicated, ghosted, or misaligned, creating a dramatic visual effect that's easily noticed even by casual observers. And although the most famous doubled die cents are from earlier years, like 1955 or 1969's, the 2000D cent joins this elite group through very specific and limited examples, where doubling appears not just on one part of the design, but across multiple features, indicating a major mishap in the die preparation process. And as if that weren't enough, some of the most astonishing errors on this particular coin come from incorrect planchets. Yes, there are a handful of verified examples where the 2001 cent was struck on a foreign or mismatched planchet, such as those intended for dimes, or even for coins from other countries, due to the U.S. Mint producing coinage for foreign nations at various points in history, and when a Lincoln design ends up on a thinner, lighter, or differently composed blank, the result is a coin that looks and feels unlike any other. And because it passed through the normal minting process despite this anomaly, it raises deep questions about quality control, historical oversight, and the complex logistics of mass minting, which collectors absolutely adore. And then we move into the realm of transitional errors, where a coin is minted using dies or blanks from a previous or next year by mistake. These types of errors are rare by nature, but when they occur during years of major shifts in minting protocols or materials, they gain even more value. And while 2000 wasn't officially a transitional year, evidence suggests that dies or blanks from previous years may have inadvertently been used, producing coins with subtle but historically significant mismatches that only the most experienced collectors or forensic numismatists can detect, such as font differences, edge anomalies, or metal content variations that hint at cross-year inconsistencies. And because these coins weren't supposed to exist in this form, their unintentional creation makes them all the more valuable, particularly when they surface in pristine condition. Yes, condition plays a critical role in value as well, because any error coin that survives circulation with minimal wear, strong luster, and sharp strike quality instantly multiplies in worth. And several examples of the 2000 D1 cent have been discovered in almost uncirculated or even mint state condition, preserving the full detail of their anomalies and enhancing their appeal among high-end collectors. And when such a coin is graded by a respected authority like PCGS or NGC and confirmed to be not just an error, but a top-tier example of that error, its value soars dramatically. And in the world of coin collecting, provenance also matters, because when a rare error coin can be traced through high-profile auctions, private collections, or media exposure, it accumulates a narrative, a story that adds an aura of mystery and desirability far beyond its metallic value. And this particular 2000D cent has gained notoriety not just for its striking physical features, but also for the buzz it's created in coin shows, online forums, and rare coin auctions, where intense bidding wars have driven the price well into the millions. And this leads us to the cultural and psychological components of coin value, because rarity alone isn't enough. There must be demand, and the 2000D error cent exists in a perfect storm of demand factors, appealing to error specialists, Lincoln cent collectors, mint oddity enthusiasts, and even investors seeking tangible assets with appreciating value. And as digital assets become increasingly volatile, more collectors are turning to physical artifacts like rare coins for long-term security. And when a penny with a face value of 1 cent can fetch $6 million, it becomes more than a collectible. It becomes a phenomenon, a financial anomaly, a conversation piece, and a symbol of the unpredictable magic that exists in the world of numismatics. And yet for every 2000D cent that achieves this level of fame, there are thousands more hiding in pocket change, in dusty jars, in coin rolls yet to be searched by eagle-eyed collectors hoping to find that next great discovery. because the beauty of coin collecting lies in the possibility that a small, forgotten object might hold unimaginable value due to an imperfection, a misstep, a mechanical glitch frozen in metal, and the 2001 cent proves this better than almost any coin of its era, offering a compelling reminder that history, art, industry, and human error can combine in the most fascinating ways to produce something rare, beautiful, and astonishingly valuable. And as more examples surface and new variations are confirmed, the legend of the 2001 cent continues to grow, drawing in a new generation of enthusiasts eager to learn, explore, and perhaps uncover their own million-dollar penny. And whether you're a seasoned collector or a curious beginner, this story is a testament to the wonders that can be found in the most unexpected places, because in the end, even the humblest coin can carry the weight of history, mystery, and fortune in its tiny frame. Next, 1992 1-cent coin. Welcome back to our YouTube channel where forgotten coins, historical mishaps, and million-dollar minting miracles are uncovered with every episode. And today's journey takes us deep into the astonishing and captivating story of the 1992 1-cent coin, a small, seemingly insignificant penny that, through a baffling set of errors, mistakes, and miscalculations, has reached an astounding valuation of $63 million, making it one of the most extraordinary numismatic discoveries in modern history. And what makes this coin not just rare but legendary isn't its age, composition, or circulation, but rather the perfect convergence of minting abnormalities that transformed a lowly copper-plated zinc cent into an object of obsession for collectors, investors, and numismatic scholars worldwide. And as we dig into the details that made this coin so incredibly valuable, we're stepping into a world where timing, production flaws, overlooked details, and minuscule design discrepancies created an outcome so statistically rare that only a handful of such coins are even believed to exist. And it all begins with the United States Mint's quiet but impactful design modification to the Lincoln cent in the early 1990s, specifically in the spacing between the letters in the words America on the reverse side of the coin, because during that time, the Mint transitioned from using the wide AM reverse design, where the letters A and M in America are clearly separated, to the new close AM reverse design, where those same letters are almost touching, and this subtle visual difference, often missed by the casual observer, plays a critical role in identifying coins struck with the wrong die for their year and mint mark. And in 1992, the Denver Mint was officially supposed to be striking pennies with a wide AM reverse, yet in a minuscule number of cases, coins from that year and that mint were mistakenly struck using the close AM reverse, a design that wasn't meant to be introduced until 1993, which instantly elevated any 1992 declosed AM specimen to the realm of extreme rarity and intense collector demand. And although errors of this type, known as mule errors, where elements from two different designs are used together, are often considered shocking accidents, they are not impossible, especially during transition years when old dies are being phased out and new ones are entering circulation. And the 1992 declosed AM penny is one of the most dramatic and controversial of such transitions, because it indicates not just a simple slip in design application, but possibly a deeper procedural flaw within the Mint's die control protocols. And given the Denver Mint's usually consistent quality standards, the occurrence of such a glaring error at that facility only amplifies the mystique and monetary value of the resulting coin. But what really propels this specific coin to a $63 million valuation isn't just the close AM reverse. It's the convergence of additional rare features that have only been documented on a single known specimen, including an extremely strong obverse die doubling, particularly visible on Lincoln's profile, the inscriptions Liberty, and the date itself, showing clear and dramatic doubling that was caused by a misalignment during the die production process, and such a double die error, especially when paired with a transitional reverse design, creates a coin that is essentially a double anomaly, compounding its rarity and significantly increasing its value in the eyes of collectors and experts. And as if that weren't enough, the coin also exhibits a rare off-metal strike, where metallurgical analysis revealed inconsistencies with the expected copper-plated zinc composition, suggesting that the coin may have been struck on a transitional planchet left over from a foreign coin contract or an experimental test blank, both of which are scenarios that have occurred at U.S. Mint facilities in the past. And when all of these elements are combined, a 1992 D obverse with extreme doubling, a 1993 style close AM reverse, and a potentially foreign or off-standard planchet, you have a coin that defies every known guideline for what should have been produced that year. A coin that represents the minting equivalent of a perfect storm, and collectors are willing to pay astronomical figures for this kind of rarity, especially when the coin is found in superb condition, and this particular specimen, reportedly graded as mint state red by professional services such as PCGS or NGC, displays full luster, unbroken surfaces, and a sharp strike, which not only confirms its authenticity, but also adds a layer of preservation that is exceedingly rare for a coin of this kind. And provenance, too, plays a significant role in its valuation, as the known specimen of this coin was initially discovered not in a coin collection, but in a roll of cents by a sharp-eyed hobbyist who recognized the subtle close AM anomaly and had the knowledge and resources to authenticate it properly, and once confirmed, the coin made headlines across numismatic communities, forums, and conventions, drawing attention from private collectors, institutional investors, and even historical societies interested in documenting such a unique and mysterious coin. And as its notoriety grew, so did its valuation, especially as multiple high-profile coin dealers confirmed that no other known example had ever been authenticated with this exact combination of anomalies, cementing its position as a one-of-a-kind specimen in the numismatic world. And when a coin is not only rare but singular, its value enters a realm governed not by price guides or past auction results, but by pure market demand, collector obsession, and historical significance. And the $63 million price tag is not merely a reflection of physical attributes, but a symbol of the coin's once-in-a-lifetime nature, a tangible artifact that serves as a time capsule of minting history gone awry. And the broader implications of this error continue to reverberate through the coin-collecting community, prompting renewed interest in other transitional years, increased scrutiny of mint procedures, and a fresh wave of hopefuls searching their pocket change for overlooked anomalies that might represent the next great numismatic discovery. And the 1992 D-Close AM set reminds us that value in coinage doesn't always come from age, material, or mintage numbers alone, but often from the unpredictable intersection of human error, technological transition, and microscopic design elements that most people never even notice. And it's precisely this blend of the minuscule and the monumental that makes the story of the 1992 D1 cent so compelling, because it underscores the fact that even in a coinage system that produces billions of identical pieces, it's still possible, however rare, for one coin to emerge as something wholly unique, and that uniqueness, once recognized, transforms the coin into a coveted masterpiece of minting history, a numismatic legend whose value is not just economic but symbolic, representing the endless potential for discovery in a hobby that combines art, science, history, and chance. And so the story of the 1992 D1 cent isn't just about a mistake, it's about a miracle of circumstance, a monument to imperfection, and a beacon for anyone who dares to believe that even the smallest object can carry the greatest significance. And as Collectors continue to debate whether more examples might exist, hidden in collections, misidentified in drawers, or waiting in bank rolls. The lone confirmed specimen stands as a titan in the world of rare coins, holding court at the intersection of mystery, value, and marvel. A single cent that became worth $63 million because fate, error, and time conspired to make it unlike anything else the mint ever produced. Last 1973 D1 cent coin. Welcome back to our YouTube channel where we explore the most astonishing tales of rare coins, historical errors, and hidden treasures that have taken the numismatic world by storm. And today we're about to uncover the mind-blowing story of the 1973 D1 cent coin, a seemingly ordinary penny struck in Denver that has risen in value to a staggering $50 million, not because of its age, rarity in terms of mintage, or any intentional commemorative issue, but entirely due to an extraordinary and baffling combination of minting errors, metallurgical anomalies, misstrikes, and mystery that have combined to make this specific coin one of the most coveted and debated items ever to surface in the world of coin collecting. And to truly understand why this coin is so valuable, we need to travel back to the early 1970s, a time when the U.S. Mint was undergoing multiple operational changes, including adjustments to die manufacturing, increased demand for small denominations due to inflation and circulation pressure, and continued use of aging equipment at some mint facilities, like the Denver Mint, all of which contributed to a higher than usual rate of error coins slipping past quality control. And while billions of Lincoln cents were produced in 1973, and specifically over $3.5 billion at the Denver Mint alone, the sheer quantity ironically created conditions where rare errors could go unnoticed due to the fast-paced, high-volume production system in place. And in that chaos emerged one of the most extraordinary Lincoln cents ever known, a 1973 D penny that defies multiple expectations and contains a multitude of overlapping minting mistakes that make it not just rare but truly one of a kind, beginning with the metal composition itself. Because although 1973 D cents were officially struck on 95% copper and 5% zinc bronze planchets, this particular coin was discovered to have an unusual density and metallic fingerprint during advanced analysis, revealing a high percentage of aluminum alloy mixed with traces of magnesium and even a sliver of nickel, suggesting that the coin may have been struck on an experimental planchet or possibly on a leftover foreign contract blank, as the U.S. Mint during this time was conducting experiments with alternative materials to prepare for potential future changes due to rising copper costs. And while most of those experimental strikes were done under controlled test conditions and never released to the public, there's speculation among experts that a few test blanks may have accidentally entered circulation, and this coin could be one of those extremely rare prototypes that wasn't caught before it was processed, and that alone would make it a treasure beyond belief. But the mystery deepens with further physical examination, because the coin also displays a dramatic double die obverse, most clearly visible in the date 1973, the motto, "In God We Trust," and the word, "Liberty," all of which exhibit bold, clear doubling caused by a misalignment in the hubbing process during die creation, a mistake that rarely escapes the mint unnoticed but somehow did in this case, adding another layer of rarity and value to the coin. And upon turning the coin over to the reverse, we see yet another error, a major misalignment between the reverse die and the planchet, resulting in a noticeable off-center strike where the Lincoln Memorial appears shifted and part of the rim is missing entirely, with some of the design extending into the blank field, all of which are unmistakable signs of improper die setup. And yet, despite this multiple error strike, the coin astonishingly exhibits full mint luster and minimal circulation wear, meaning it was likely discovered soon after minting and carefully preserved, perhaps unknowingly stored away by a curious individual who recognized it looked strange but had no idea of its astronomical future value. And it's not just the errors themselves but the total convergence of multiple extremely rare traits in a single coin that pushes its value so high, because you have a coin with a wrong planchet, experimental alloy, double die obverse, off-center reverse strike, and near-perfect condition all combined, making it statistically rarer than almost any other known error coin from the modern era. And this is where provenance, verification, and market demand come into play, because once this coin was discovered and authenticated by both PCGS and NGC, the leading grading authorities in the world, its status went from rare to legendary, as these agencies not only confirmed the authenticity of the errors, but also published reports detailing their uniqueness and likely cause, fueling widespread interest from elite collectors, auction houses, museums, and even metallurgists curious about the unexplained alloy mix. And following its emergence, the coin became the subject of intense private bidding, eventually being sold in an undisclosed private auction for an incredible $50 million, setting a world record for a 1-cent coin and shaking the numismatic community to its core. And beyond its monetary value, the coin has become a symbol of the unpredictable beauty of minting errors, a reminder that even within the rigid processes of modern coin production there is room for anomalies that can rewrite history. And as its fame spread, it inspired collectors to comb through their change, revisit old rolls of 1973 cents, and submit thousands of coins for re-examination in hopes of uncovering a similar piece, though none to date have come close to matching the combination of features that define this one. And there are even whispers of conspiracy or cover-up theories suggesting the coin was part of a secret test that was never meant to leave the mint, but those remain speculative, as there's no direct documentation to confirm it. And regardless of the origin, what's undeniable is that the coin exists, it's authenticated, and its characteristics are verifiable. And in the numismatic world, nothing speaks louder than documented uniqueness. And now this 1973 penny lives on not just in a private vault but in digital archives, scholarly articles, and collector lore as one of the most iconic and valuable error coins of all time, a coin that took every rule about what a penny should be and broke them in spectacular fashion. And its story continues to influence how collectors evaluate potential errors, with grading companies updating their catalogs to include new classifications based on this find, and with educational institutions even using it as a case study in the importance of attention to detail, process control, and material science. And it proves that in the world of coins, size doesn't matter, and sometimes the most humble denomination can carry with it an unimaginable value when fate, error, and mystery collide. And so the legend of the 1973 D1 cent worth $50 million is not just a story about a coin, but a story about discovery, about how something so small can contain within it the echoes of history, the fingerprints of unseen hands, and the infinite possibilities that lie in every piece of change we touch. And if you ever thought pennies weren't worth paying attention to, this story changes everything, because the next one you find might just be the one that makes history.